All right. So, theme number 2. Last night, we talked to you about these fun little baskets.
Ta-da!
And today we're going to show you how they're made.
And by we mean Chris is going to.
It's all good. We're a team, Jenny.
We are.
We're a team, so whatever I can do to
picked the
help,
fabric, right?
Yes, you did. Look how pretty these are.
I just love them so much.
I know.
And I actually went back and looked, and she did use watercolor, not acrylic, so you were right.
Ah! Yeah, there you go. Look how pretty. They are gorgeous. Is that plum delicious or what?
I love this purple.
Yeah, it is so, so pretty. So we thought this would be a fun little tutorial for you today, and it's so easy. You could whip these up like that. I promise you. And look how cute it is to have the little carrots that we made earlier in these too. So you could do all kinds of things with this. Okay. So, can you text Mallory and ask her if she's got that
pattern updated?
Okay.
Yes.
So, are you ready for this?
I'm always
ready. Do you
ready.
need a fork or a friend for that bow? Judy, yes. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to.
Do you use a fork?
No, you don't use either. We're going to do a fabric bow today, which I showed a fabric bow when I did the shamrocks. We're going to do it again today. Okay. So, you know what? I will need a little piece. Yeah. Oh, my mom's asking me if I made one for her for Mother's Day.
It's probably yours, Pam.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. Totally count on that. Yep. Okay. All right, guys. So, what you're going to start out with, we have in the pattern, there's 2 different sizes to choose from. But once you know the technique, then you can actually. Oh,
it's fine. Go. I'm 6 feet away.
You just keep grabbing my stuff. Okay, there we go. All right. So once you know the technique, it's the same thing as like when I talked about the carrots the other day, and it's the same kind of idea, right? So this is a 13.5 by 21.5 piece of fabric. So out of a fat quarter, you can make it one basket, but again, depending on what size you do, you could do 2 or 3 or whatever. Someone's asking, what are we making? We're going to make these baskets.
I already uploaded it.
Awesome.
She's amazing.
Oh, good. Okay, we're making these baskets. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut your fabric, and then you're going to cut a piece of Soft and Stable, which is wonderful, that foam that goes in between your layers. Okay, gives it a little more stability. And I went ahead and I just did a quick quilting on this. You do not have to. You certainly, in fact, on these, I didn't quilt them. I just did a little basting stitch all the way around to hold it in place. We're going to talk about the fabric here in just a few minutes, but I'm glad you like it because it is beautiful.
It is so pretty.
So you can see here, I just did some basic quilting, and I just followed the polka dots. Made it real easy.
Yeah, you could use if you wanted to mark it, you could use tape, you could use a water-soluble pen.
Yep.
You could do friction on the back.
So you see it like this. This one, again, 13.5 by 21.5. I'm going to fold it in half with right sides together and once it's quilted, and I'm going to stitch just along the opposite side of the fold. Okay, so let's head over here to the sewing
I get to be
machine.
Carolisa today with the.
There you go. And I gotta grab my foot pedal. There we go.
Ooh, I'm trying to see what I'm doing.
There we go. There we go. All right.
I'll wait till you get situated.
Okay. I think we're. Oh, but it would help if I've got some thread, right?
Yep. But at least you have the right foot on.
Thread is a big deal.
Because what was it? A few weeks ago, I went to sew and it was an embroidery machine.
I even checked that today because it was set up as an embroidery machine.
I had to teach Sandra how to change the feet during her class.
Here we go. Okay, so I got a long this long one, I'm going to fold it together to be right sides together, and I'm just stitching right along here. All right.
And do you
so
bump your stitch length
let's
up
get
when
right
you're
up here.
doing some thick things? Or
Yeah, I actually, that's a good suggestion. I will bump it up to like a 3.0.
am I on you? I can't see.
Yeah, you're awesome. Okay, there we go. Whoops.
Woo!
Whee!
You gotta use the sound effects when you sew fast.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Marks, get set, go.
Woo! That's not fast. That's just like
Oh, there we go. Whee! It's got a longer stitch length here. There we go.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so there we did it. It looks like a tube. All right. Barb says it's actually Chris and Jenny Lisa. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so we got a tube. Now
Or
we're
it could be
going to roll this to the middle so that the seam goes in the middle. So we're just going to roll it to the middle, or we're going to smush it, however you want to call it. That's what we're doing. Seam goes in the middle, and I'm going to sew across the bottom. I'm using about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Cheryl says she loves this machine. Oh, I do too. This is,
Can I call it sexy?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a sexy machine. This is the Baby Lock Altair. Okay. Oh, check and recheck thread. Yeah. Even gave me a little sad face too.
Probably fine.
All right. I just did an absolute no. You should never pull
Mike
your
wasn't
thread
watching.
up
It's fine.
from the top. I always talk about that in class, but you know. There we go. All right, let's try it again. There we go. Okay. So it's now right here along the bottom, and my seam is in the back. This is why I rolled it to the back, is so that I don't have any seams on the side or the front. So that's why I rolled it to the back. Okay, so now you have a pouch that looks like this. And now what I'm going to do is box out my corners, my bottom corners, so that the basket lays flat. So you can see right here, the bottom of the basket, here's that back seam, and here are my boxed out corners. All right, so how do we box out corners? Well, there's a few different ways we could do it, but this is the way I'm going to show you today, is I'm just going to smush it just like that.
And last week I did the cutout.
Last week Jenny did the cutout, which you could, if you wanted to, you could cut it out like a 2-inch square, and then you're going to bring those layers together. I'm going to skip the step of cutting it out, and I'm just going to smush this down so that it creates a point. And then my goal is to do a 2-inch seam allowance right here across. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll bring those two together to create a point in 2 inches. So let me show you how that's done. Again, 2 inches. I could take out a marker and mark it. I'm not going to today. I'm going to kind of eyeball this with the help of my markings on the bed of my machine. But let's go ahead and just sew straight across. Okay. And cut my threads. So this one is boxed out, and now I'm going to turn it to the opposite corner and do the same thing. All I'm doing is I'm just pulling these out on both sides, okay, so that this point lies flat. Dee said there's a lot of smushing in this pattern. That's exactly right.
Slashing.
There you go. This pattern is so simple. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Okay, so I've smushed both corners. Here we go. Now, I'm going to grab some scissors.
Is that iron on? Did you turn it on?
I did.
Okay, phew.
Yep. I'm just trimming off the excess here.
Computer's really warm.
There we go. And now I have a basket. Okay, kind of. what I want to do is I'm going to turn it right side out. Yes, very technical terminology, Jennifer.
Smush,
Absolutely.
smash, smooshed.
Smush, smash, titch. Yep, all of those. There we go. Skiwampus. I use them all. Zoom, zoom.
Cattywampus.
Cattywampus. There we go. Look! The bottom of my basket is
You're
complete.
good at that. I can never get mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Okay, well, there you go. All right, so then you take a second fat quarter and you're going to do the same thing as you did with this one. So with the exception of you don't have to use the soft and stable. You're just doing the same thing. All I did, and I actually, for purposes of television, for the magic of taking something out of the oven and
done.
having it done, I actually went ahead and stepped this out for you guys by making the lining. I did the same exact thing. I just folded it in half, sewed down one side, made the seam go in the center, and then sewed along the bottom, boxed out the corners. That's it. Okay, so I have my lining and I have my outside. So to bring this all together, oh, I forgot to do something here.
You didn't leave the
I didn't leave an opening in the bottom. No biggie. When it comes to your lining, though, I'm going to just...
Cut a hole in it.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. If I had a seam ripper handy, but I'm okay. There we go. Okay, I should have left an opening at the bottom. But trust me, that's probably going to happen to you too. When you get going, and you may forget to leave the opening at the bottom. You're still going to sew up part of the sides, but leave an opening. If you forget, just do what I did and just open it right back up. No biggie. The reason why we do this is because this is where we're going to pull the outside of the bag through. So it's really important that you do leave an opening. Okay, so when it comes to putting this all together, think of it this way. You're putting right sides together. Okay, right sides together. So that means I'm actually going to place, and I want to line up my seams here. Yes, the lining is the same exact size. You could do this with pre-quilted fabric, or you could quilt your own. Either way.
You could use fusible fleece. It just might not stand up as well.
Could you grab me the little
Go
wonder
gadget
clips? Okay, so it looks like this. Do you see this opening? We're going to pull that through here in a minute. But I'm just going to take some little wonder clips that we have and just clip these together.
Yeah, I had some on my desk.
Oh,
You
did
wouldn't have
you?
had to open, yeah.
Oh. All right.
Next time.
Next time. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to place a few clips around the top. And just to hold everything in position. Okay, so all of this is lined up. I'm just making sure I line up those edges. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Love these wonder clips. Okay, there we go. So I have it all lined up across the top. And then I'm going to take it to the machine one more time, and I'm with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I will sew around the entire top. All right. Now, you could do one of two things. Let's bring this up just a little. No, you're good. You're doing great.
I'm just resting on my stomach.
Yeah. No, that's great. You could, if you had a free arm, I'm not going to take the time to remove my arm here. I could put it around the free arm so that you have it real easy to go. This isn't too bad, where I can just pull this top back and sew from this point. Put my presser foot down, and there we go.
Do you remember when you first started filming classes, you did this like manually with your computer?
I did what?
You were like our videographer with your computer and the iPad.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I sure did. It's crazy.
Look how far we've come in a year.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so just kind of make sure everything is up and out of the way. Okay, got my threads. So exciting. So there we go. So now it's time to bring this up and through here. Okay, now you can see this. And I'm going to just kind of poke out my bottoms. Make sure that's all poked out. Okay. And then I have this opening, which I'm going to just fold in and then just top stitch that closed. All right. If you really were concerned, you could do a ladder stitch or a whip stitch or something like that by hand, but I'm not real worried about it. I'm
Ain't
just
nobody got time for that.
Nope. I'm just going to just put it right through this baby. Okay, and do a top stitch and call it good. Okay. All right. So now that my lining is closed, now I just push this right back into here. Fun, right?
Definitely.
Okay, but I'm not quite done yet. If I wanted the basket to stay this way, it's kind of cute to just have a little bit of the lining popping up and out, but I'm going to actually push this down back into the little bucket. I'm going to take my Wonder Clips again and just put them all the way around. Okay. Sometimes you have to lick your fingers a little bit.
I was wondering if you were going to pull out the licked finger trick.
The licked
It
finger
works
trick.
really well.
The licked finger trick works really well. It helps get that push down, gives you a little bit more grip, right?
What do you do at the grocery store now that you have a mask?
You know, it's a good question. Now that I have a mask, and I definitely don't want to be licking my fingers there, I will, you know how the spray comes out at the produce area?
Well, that's a good idea.
I just wet my hands like that.
I rub my hands together really fast on the bag, and that works about half the time.
Oh, that works
But
too.
I've just given up and like, whatever, I'll just lick my finger.
You just look at it. Yuck.
I fell down the stairs. I might as
No
well.
way. There you go. There we go. So I have, I have that all lined up. You can see that my edges are aligned right along here. And now I'm going to do one final top stitch around it just to hold the lining and the other piece together, the outside piece together. And do a top stitch. See how fun these pens are? They make things super fast. We use them all the time, especially when doing bags, because you know, you got a lot of thick layers going on there, so it's really nice not to have to try and get the pins.
I love Wonder Clips, especially for bags.
People use
bags
it
and
quite
binding.
often for binding.
I don't usually use them in place of pinning a block, but I do use them on bag.
Pinning a block, really, I don't think I'd ever use it for pinning a block. However, bag construction, or if I'm naming blocks, naming my pieces, and I have a letter, I just write on a piece of paper A, and I'll just clip that to pile number letter A, or rows together, things like that. I'll do that. Okay, so there's that. It's been top stitched, and that was the back. Here's the front. And we can put this down now, Jenny.
Okay.
Because I'm done with the sewing machine.
I'm just trying to figure out when my kids' races are.
And here we go. This is the best part. Look at how fun this is. Yay! So you flip it over, and there we go.
That's pretty cute with the Tula and the Kimberbell.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Tula. This one's Tula. This is Kimberbell. Look
They're
how
the gift that keeps on
giving. Yay! And it's done. See how simple that was to make? Really, really easy. Gotta put my carrots in here because they're so stinking cute.
They are, definitely.
All right. So again, you can do any size, play around with different sizes, but you now have the idea of how fast and simple these are to go together.